Story time about the stock market. The stocks of the week. Woo-hoo-hoo. We got some doozies for you guys that's going to let you grow your finances. And imagine Joseph in Egypt. Not just storing grain, but building infrastructure during the famine. So he just didn't survive, but he owned the recovery. See, Joseph, he cornered the market. And that's what Five Below is doing right now in retail as the cost of things continues to go up. Intel, the brand of all brands 10 years ago, they did not do what Joseph did. When they had their reign in the 80s and 90s, they should have stored all those resources. And now today would have had a better chance to compete, but they have not. And Decker, they've quietly become a global brand, a powerhouse worth watching. And today, we're going to have you prepared like you're Joseph with the stock of the week, the loss of the week, and the opportunity, maybe, of your life. Before we get started, as always, though, like, subscribe, and share to our channel. In real life, I'm a certified financial planner. We've helped thousands of clients worldwide, but on these social media airways, we'll get information. And this information will allow you to grow your finances and maybe get to the back of our bags if we invest in these stocks like we're supposed to. Anyways, you guys ready? Let go.
And you just want to get paid. Tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Yeah, painful profits to help you seek change. And you just want to get paid. Yeah, tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Painful profits to help you seek change. Yeah, cut the show home, just listen. You want to feel empowered by making money decisions.
Now, if the answer to one of these questions is yes, then you guys are going to be in some trouble. What if the stocks you ignored during the volatility are the ones moving while you're watching the headlines and sitting on the sidelines? Or number two, how long can your portfolio survive a surprise if the company starts losing money rapidly? And number three, are you positioned to benefit from infrastructure and consumer themes that are reshaping the economy? If you answer yes to one of those, good God Almighty, it's good that you're here because we're going to talk about the stock of the week, the opportunity of the week, and a stock that woohoo went down like crazy. So the first stock, the stock that got to the bag of all bags, DEC, symbol DECK. And you're like, who was that? They was up by 11% when the market, even though it hit another all-time high, the market went up by not even 1% this week, but DEC went up by 11. So because of that price target going from 115 to 154, Wall Street was like, you know what? This is the stock to look at. My friends, they also have a double bottom pattern. Now, for all my traders out there, the ones that trade stocks that invest, this is a bullish signal where you have it go down one time and bounce back up. It's like that W. Go down and bounce back up. That double pattern means it's breaking out to the upside. And if it's the case where Wall Street's predicting the stock in the next 12 months is going to be $154 a share from 116 to 154, that is a 35% gain. Woo! If we make 35% when the stock market averages 10 for the year, are we happy or mad? So DEC being up by 11.3% is the gain of the week, but might be the opportunity of the next year because with the deal of the EU being done and the Trump tariff cost lower than what they think and a higher profit margin, this stock might be something that's going to shoot up dramatically. Talk about dramatics. It does not get to be a dramatic epic fail like Intel, symbol INTC, down by another 8.5% this week, you guys. This is a tale of a company that had it all, but they fumbled the bag over the past 20 years. They was the gold standard of making chips. No one would buy a computer unless it had an Intel chip. You remember the 90s and the early 2000s, all the commercials, everything that they did, they are a national, recognized big business. And that big business has went to crap the past 3 years. And they've let little old companies get big, like NVIDIA, like Taiwan Semiconductor, like AMD, like Super Microcomputers, and they've done nothing about it. They're on their third CEO in the past 12 months. They got $4 billion from the CHIPS Act signed by former President Biden last year. $4 billion. How do you get $4 billion of free money and 6 months later your stock is down by 54%? How is that possible? Is that mismanagement? Yes. Is that sitting on your laurels? Yes. And a whole bunch of other things as well. They are a sinking ship. Down by 25% this year alone. And again, 40% the last year. Unacceptable. This long-term semiconductor giant who supplied microprocessors and data center chips, and they were the Silicon Valley before Silicon Valley. Historically, the backbone of U.S. tech has just toppled. The profit margin, horrible. AMD, NVIDIA, taking over. And their internal restructuring that they've done the last 18 months have been a disaster. Intel is why diversification is the key. Because for so long, Intel stock outperformed the market for 30 plus years. And so people said, I'm just going to put a lot of money because chips and AI is the future. And they was the forefront of that. You know, IBM Watson, the chip was powered by Intel. But if a person stayed in Intel or put more than 5%, because we recommend no more than 5% in one stock. Blanket recommendation. Now for my clients, different, but just in general, no more than 5%. You don't want to get yourself in trouble. But that's just me. If a person did 10, 20, 30, some people are doing 50% in NVIDIA right now. 50% of Intel, you would have been screwed while the Intels of the world did so much better. So them being down by 8.5%, is it going to get worse? In my humble opinion, I don't see how they come back. They got $4 billion and have lost almost 50% of their stock market share after that. If you're a business owner, you got $4 billion, how in the world do you lose money? I don't know what Intel got going on, but for a person who's looking to short a stock, not a recommendation, but Intel might be something to look at because this thing is falling and I don't see any path to recovery, especially outpacing NVIDIA or TSM or AMD or super microcomputers. So the fall, maybe of our investment lifetime, Intel. But then we have opportunities. And because of the Trump tariff trade and the big beautiful bill, how it's going to hurt our dollars even more, especially for the middle or lower middle class. 5, symbol FIVE, being up by 8.1% is nothing compared to where it could be the next 2 to 5 years. It is up by 30% this year. The last 52 weeks, equaling July of last year, up 164%. You know, people would love to get 100% of their money in 5 years. It made 164% in 1 year. This is a stock, my friends, that because of the current economic structure and how more people are going to discounted items and goods, a company that I believe is going to explode. Not a recommendation, just information. And you know, they're headquartered in Philadelphia. They have over 1,200, they don't call it retail stores, they call it value retail stores. And they offer merchandise between $5 to $15. So these ain't our swanky people with their thumbs in the air. No, these are everyday, hardworking people trying to provide for their family. And unfortunately, because of the bill and AI and automation and jobs not paying the same or not being there in general, stores like this is needed to help our economy. And they had a huge lift in earnings and revenue forecasts because a lot of the things they get is from China. And with the tariff talk easing, slowing down, and our constant negotiation with China to come with a tariff deal, Wall Street think this stock can actually go up another 100% in the next year. And their management said, you know what? It's time to be like Joseph. See, we talked about the story in the beginning, what Intel didn't do, storing everything and having an abundance and using that to grow more. When Intel didn't, they are. They're building more stores. And JP Morgan said your stock is going to go up to $154 a share. That's a 40% increase. I think this stock can easily get to $200 a share. That, my friends, is a 70% gain. JP Morgan said, yeah, 20%. Well, you know, they're conservative. We want to give you the real. 5 is a vibe. And if you look back, by getting to $200 a share, you're still off the mark. Because in 2021, before the inflation killed us in 2022, their stock was up to $228 a share. So just back to 200 is not back to where it was almost 5 years ago. So let's say it does get back to that end of next year. From here, that's almost 100% gain. My friends, 5 is a stock that we might want to look into because I believe it has the opportunity to outperform the market dramatically. So yes, it's up by 164% the past year. And yes, it was up by 8.1% when the market was only up by 1% last week. However, if it does get to $200 a share, 12, 18 months from now, we're going to be very, very happy. And for the economy, that's good because people that unfortunately aren't able to spend all their money and ball out at Target or at Walmart can still provide for their family and offer goods and services for their family. So good job to 5 for helping individuals in our country be able to provide for their families. So what do you guys think? DEC, 11.3%. Is it still going to go up? Intel being down by 8.5. What we going to do there? And 5 retail store being up by 8%. Is this just a kind of pump fake? Or is this a small thing to come, as I think they're going to grow dramatically? Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Good ideas, bad ideas, horrible ideas, or Mario, stick to your day job of being a certified financial planner anyways, with 18 years licensed in the business, not just a YouTuber. I did launch, me and my business partner, the first fully powered AI Black-owned ETF ever on the stock market, symbol LETB, back in 2022. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. Anyways, though, like, subscribe, share to our channel. Keep those subs up. Keep that engagement up. We definitely appreciate it. And in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, let's make some Payneful or painless profits together, y'all. Peace.